actually, just to add some more, when you talk to that gentleman the next time you speak to him, a lot of people talk to me. I get a lot of stories and a lot of pattern recognition I have came across is that one that jumps to mind right away is this incident that took place in the land between the lakes down in Kentucky. There is there in that area specifically, and in a few other places actually in southeastern Ohio as well, right?
That's where I'm at.
Yeah. Oh,
we've had.
Okay.
Yeah, we're having massive sightings.
Yeah. So southeastern. I didn't know that. So southeastern Ohio, there is a direct correlation between Dogman sightings and Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Watcher sightings, however you want to talk to them. And then I've actually talked to people out of Oklahoma in LaFleur County, and they had told me before that the Bigfoots either are taking it upon themselves or they've always done it, you didn't know about it, but to basically keep these things under control, to like some type of control with them, right? And again, a lot of people don't connect the dots between the two. They treat them as mutually exclusive events, right? And I can get into the reasons why I want a second on that, but no, I actually think that it makes more sense. Yeah, especially now that you tell me where you're at, right? Have you ever spoken with a gentleman named Tim Gayhart by chance?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I'll probably like to send you an email, make an introduction for you. He's done a lot of looking into that, and he told me a story one time. He's been on my show. He told me a story one time where he saw 4 of those dogmen, right, in an area that where heavily Sasquatch sightings were taking place, right, in southeastern Ohio, right, and so you guys probably geographically are a lot closer on that. But that is amazing right there. And as a child, did your father ever talk about these dogmen or not? Because they seem to be a not relatively new, but more and more frequent things are encounters are happening with these cryptids, for lack of a better word for them. A lot of it has to do with the Earth's energy, I think, changing or waking up or something like that. I think a lot of that has to do it. People call it the thinning of the veil, things like that, right?
Thinning of the veil. Yep, that's what my grandma called it. I think, like here, our woods, that 400-acre tract hasn't been touched in 200 years. They log in it, So now they're coming out more. They're being seen more because their home has been disturbed. They don't have anywhere to go. Last summer, that's when I got more and more here because they moved out. I mean, these timber, this timber, it's $1 million in timber, but that's their home. Right. And like you said, the earth is changing. We always say the earth will reclaim its own. Yeah. And it's claiming its own, in more ways than one. So, the story that was shared with me through the Shawnee story of the Dogman, because we talk of the Watchers. The way it was like like I said, these are myths and lores and legends, but the Shawnee say the Moonlight people came. They had children with the Shawnee. They left the Watchers behind to protect their children. They didn't have children with the Watchers. They had children with the Moonlight people, which either is another race of people. There's different theories on that. But these Watchers were left behind. They're our protectors. Yeah. And then this would have been early 1800s. There's a story that was told to me about the Watchers, and we had, of course, the shaman, the medicine men. We call them, when they go bad, we call them bruja. They're bad. So there were some that had went bad, and they were using, of course, they have their Watchers, just like mine. I have mine that is basically part of me. But because they went bad, theirs turned bad too.
Mm-hmm.
They became what they were. And so the good one, they got together, the seers, the seekers, the shaman, the good shaman, to battle them, to battle the bruja, and the bad watchers. And they said they created the Dogman to help battle them because no normal man can fight a watcher and win. They're just not possible.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
So that was how they said they were created for. But then I thought it's like, do you know about the dog soldiers, the native dog soldiers?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And they are in wolf hide and they teeter themselves down and they fight to the death. Either they win or they're killed. Mm-hmm. That's the only way they're untethered from their line that they tie themselves down with. But for them to go into battle, the medicine men, the shaman, it's like, just like me, I still use herbs and, the plants, and I still go to the woods and get it. But there's things that you can get. It's just like the drug addicts today that's on the bath salts that thinks they're whatever. There's plants and stuff that will turn a person, mentally and make them fight more fiercely.
Oh, for sure.
Their inability, anything that, they lose that and they're just fierce. So I thought, well, is that what that was? But then, there's like, no, it was like a shapeshifter type thing where they turned into these dogmen. Well, it's not really dogmen in the sense, but more wolf. People call them dog, but in reality, from what I hear, it's more like they're wolf, not dog.
Right.
So, it's a different thing, but yeah. Of course, I've heard a lot of stories. I've heard a Wendigo story, different things, but it's, the watchers is one thing, but just like Dad said, there's good and bad in everything, no matter who you are or what you are.
Right.
The world, that's the balance in the world. There's good and bad.
Yeah, so it's funny. It's funny too that in Southeast Ohio that you have the moon-eyed people legend, because I grew up in Upper East Tennessee on the North Carolina-Virginia border at the very tip, right smack dab in the middle of the Appalachian Mountains, Cherokee land, 100% Cherokee land, right? And if you follow that slant down on the western North Carolina border, at the bottom of that, when you get down to Georgia, is Choctaw land, right? So the Cherokee and the Choctaw always were, at war for back then. But they both told in their tribal. There's a city in south of Johnson City called Jonesboro, and once a year they have storytelling, like a storytelling event down in Jonesboro.
Subscribe now and turn on the notifications to join us on this extraordinary journey into the unknown.